Hello, family. Angela Cage here with Cage Collaborations LLC. And today I want to talk to you about your delivery because delivery is key when you have a message that you're trying to convey and you need the receiver to be open and receptive. If your delivery is off putting, then that puts the receiver on the defense and they may not even hear what you're trying to say because their automatic response is to go on the defense because of how the message was delivered. And it's really funny because this is not the message that I plan on recording today, but the universe has shown me over the past couple weeks that this message needs to get out there, not only with me, but in interactions that I've been involved with and interactions that have gone on around me. Now, one of the things that I always like to create an analogy in order to get people to kind of see where I'm coming from with this is when your delivery is bad or your delivery is off-putting or rude, people are just not receiving your message. Think about someone making your favorite dish, all of the items that you love to eat. They prepared it with care, the best recipes, the best ingredients. And when it comes time to bring you your meal, they take the top of the trash can lid, put the food right on the trash can lid, and hand it to you. Are you going to eat it? No. No one wants something that's served up to them on a trash can lid. But if they take that same food, prepared with the same love, the same quality ingredients, and they put it on a nice dish, on a serving tray, and they bring this meal to you, you're more apt to want to receive that. And that's how it is when you're trying to deliver any kind of message, whether it's an interaction at work, whether it's an interaction with some customer service representative, whether you are the customer service representative and you're interacting with customers, whether you're interacting with people in your village or in your community. This message is universal. You want to make sure that you deliver messages and bring messages to people in a serving dish and not on a trash can lid. And this actually reminds me of a quote, and you all know I love my quotes. And this is actually from the poet and great author Maya Angelou. And this says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that really goes in line with the delivery, because if your delivery is off, if you're out the pocket, if you're rude, if you're nasty, if you're contentious, if you're condescending, people are not really going to receive your message. They're going to immediately pick up on all that negativity, and they're going to be like, whoa, no, I don't want anything to do with this person. Or they're going to go on the defense. If they're a combative type person, if they're a person who's with it, they always want the smoke, then they're going to give you back exactly what you give them. So you really want to be cautious and make sure that you're delivering a message that is respectful, is in a respectful manner. And like I said, the message is not always going to be for the receiver, something that they want to hear. It may be something that they need to hear. You may be needing to call them out or hold them accountable for things that they've done, but it doesn't have to be rude. It doesn't have to be nasty. It doesn't have to be contentious. You want to build a playing field where there is mutual respect. So you want to deliver that message in such a way where the receiver can receive it. And some of y'all may know that I have a master's degree in psychology. And when you really think about the psychological aspects of it, our brain is triggered when we receive messages, and we receive millions of messages a day. Messages like me speaking to you, messages with our ears, messages with our eyes, our senses. We receive all kind of, and even we may even feel the atmosphere, the vibes of people. We get all kind of messages. But our brains are triggered. We either have a reward response or a threat response. So if I give you the trash can lid delivery with what I'm telling you, even if what I'm saying is 100% factual, it's 100% right, but I shove that trash can lid in your face, you're immediately going to flip to the threat response. And depending on how you're wired, when there's a threat, you're either going to fight or you're going to flee. or you're going to freeze. Those are the three responses psychologically when there is a threat. So, like I said, if you want all the smoke, if you always here for it, when someone brings you that trash can lid, oh, you ready to go toe to toe, and you ready to go to battle. That's that threat response in your brain. That's what your brain is telling you. This is a threat, and you need to respond. And if fight is your response, then you're going to be ready for a fight. So that's when you get into the back and forth, the negativity. Y'all might be hurling expletives at each other, but that's when stuff escalates. If your response, when your trigger, the trigger, excuse me, the threat response is triggered in your brain, if your response is to flee, then you're going to retreat. You're not going to hear what the person has said. You're not going to want to engage. You're immediately just going to want to retreat and remove yourself as quickly as possible, because that's the way that you're wired. And if your response when the threat area of your brain is triggered is to freeze, then you're just immediately going to shut down. You might be just neck down dead, like nothing. You're not, no response, nothing. You just freeze. And again, that doesn't lead for or make for a positive interaction when you're trying to communicate. So know that it's not what you have to say, it's how you say it. And you don't have to be rude, you don't have to be nasty, none of that. And I have two examples. I recently had a situation where I had to decline a request from someone. They asked me to do something, and I didn't have the bandwidth to do it. So when I went to that person, I let them know, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do what you asked me to do, but here's an alternative, and this is why I think that this alternative will work for you. And even though I was telling them no, which when we don't get what we want, that may trigger the threat response, I offered them a solution, and I said it in such a way where it wasn't nasty. So they were receptive to what I was saying. I tried to appeal to the reward sensors in their brain so that they can be open and receptive to and hear actually what I'm saying. And the second example that I have for you is actually a customer service experience that I had. I went to one of my financial institutions. I had to do a transaction, and the person told me that they recently had a fee schedule change, and the transaction that I was doing was going to cost me some money. So, I started inquiring, because I want to know all the details. When did it change? Was I notified? This, that, and the third. So we're going through it. And then we go on with the transaction. And as soon as she processes my transaction, she gonna tell me, and it wasn't nasty, but her delivery was off. She gonna tell me, oh, I could have waived that, but it's already gone through. So me, I'm looking like, excuse me, why wouldn't you do your best to offer me the best customer service when you have the authority, and you have the authority to waive the fee? Why wouldn't you just go ahead and do it? And here's the other thing. If you knew you weren't going to do it for whatever reason, that you thought that you weren't going to do it, why would you tell me? So to me, that was trash can lid service. I did end up getting a survey after I left the financial institution, and I put that person on blast. And it really makes me, really appreciate the other financial institutions that I do business with when I have one that stands out so glaring and gives me trash can lid messages or service at that point. It makes me appreciate the other ones. Another thing that I want to tell you about your delivery is analyze why. If you're the person that gives trash can lid messages, or those are the types of the vehicle that you use to deliver your messages as a trash can lid, analyze why. Is it because you're having a bad day? Then take a step back and do some of the self-care things that I've talked about in some of the previous videos on this YouTube channel. And if you haven't watched them, click on the videos tab, search for them, and check them out. But do some of those things so that you can turn your bad day around, because you have the power to make it be whatever day that you want it to be by what you focus on. And if, it's not because you're just having a bad day, but you're having a miserable life, then really take some time to figure out, why am I miserable? Why am I miserable? And really work on to unpack that. And if you need to get a therapist or talk to somebody that you trust within your village, whatever it is that you need to do, figure out why you're having a miserable life, because you should not be living a miserable life. You should be living a life of abundance. You should be living a life of positivity. You should be living a life of thriving and striving for more, always seeking for better, because that's what you deserve. So if it's because your vehicle is at trash can lid, analyze why and take the steps to change it, because no one deserves your mess. No one deserves your mess. So when I'm having a day and I feel like, I might want to use the trash can lid for my delivery, I take a step back and I evaluate myself, because just because something's going on within me doesn't mean that I need to spew it out to the people around me. That's when I need to lean in to the people that I trust within my village to build me up. Like, hey, I'm really struggling. I just need to vent. Give me 2 minutes to just vent, and then I get it off. Boom, 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 boom. This is what's going on. And then the people that are within my village that I tap, they give me back what I give. So after I'm done venting, they say, okay, you felt that, you got it out. Now, what can we do to turn this around? And then we can strategize and brainstorm and figure out things that I can do, because I'm in control of myself and my reactions and my responses. I'm in control of my delivery. What can I do to turn that around? And the last thing that I'll leave you with as far as delivery is concerned is you get much further with sugar than you do with poo poo. You definitely do. People will respond, are more likely to respond in a positive, receptive manner when you go to them in such a manner that they can be receptive to. And most of the time, people are not going to be receptive to the trash can lid. So you know that I want you all to win, and I want you all to win in every area of your life. And that's even when you are the person that is delivering the message. Put away the trash can lid. Let's go on and take that to the recycling center and get rid of that forever. Let's always have a dish. And when people give us trash can lid, we can call them out and hold them accountable, but let's not do it in such a way where we return fire with fire. Let's be the example in order to make people be better, because then they can always think back on that response like, well, dang, I was nasty to her, but she didn't meet me with nastiness. She actually made me level up because she came to me in a different way, and that was mutual respect. So I want you all to win. I love you all always, and get rid of that trash can lid, and let's serve messages and dishes that can be received. Make it a great day. I love you all always.